Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Metal Movies and Brewskis Live. I'm your host, Matt Burke. We got an awesome show planned for you tonight. It's going to be metal. We're going to have Russ Leech on. He's going to be talking about his awesome, epic new book, The Atlantean. So if you guys could give a warm welcome to Russ, that would be awesome.
Hello.
How's it going, man? Long time no
Great,
see.
thank you. Yeah. Good to see you. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
you know, working.
Hard at work, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like that was fast. Fast turnaround. We had you back on about like 6 months ago,
Yeah.
on the channel, and got the book. I loved it, man. I loved the book.
Good.
Did a little
Thank
review
you.
on it, and without trying to spoil too much. And wow, it's already here the second book, and
Yeah. It's black and white this time, so we didn't have quite as long a production schedule. And it's compact. It's 50 pages rather than the epic that we did with the Shadow Kingdom. But the idea is it's episodic, so there will be multiple issues over a period of time. And the idea, I mean, it's a mid-term project for me, so it's years in the making. Effectively, I'd like to do many issues, as many as possible, and we've already got the second issue plotted out and ready to go. So as soon as I finish this, I can start the next issue. The only thing that stops us is that awkward crowdfunding period around the Christmas period.
Yeah,
Otherwise, we'd be doing 4 issues a year. So
yeah,
we're going to do 3 issues a year currently, and see how we go.
that sounds awesome, man. I think that's perfect. I don't know. I think that's a really sweet spot too. 3 issues a year, and I want to get into big details on this. And I just want to let you guys know, everyone that's watching and that's going to watch on the replay. We have the link pinned at the top it'll take you right to fundmycomic.com to the Atlantean. So if you guys can pick it up. I got some metal news for you guys. I know Russ is going to know about this one. Let me get into this real quick. So you guys know about Ozzy. He's getting awarded finally, and that's going to be into the Rock of Fame. I believe it's the Hard Rock. So, and Jack Black is going to be hosting the event. Jack Black he's a funny character as of late, but I will say his video game Brutal Legend, man. If you guys are into Zelda, Robert E. Howard, and Frazetta, they put all of that in heavy metal. They put all of it together. So we talked about it on the show. It's one of the coolest video games ever made.
It is, yeah.
So you know about that. So he's going to be doing the introduction. It's going to be the Hall of Fame. You're going to have Metallica, Tool, and Red Hot Chili Peppers members performing. They're making this custom band just for the event. So I think I actually want to check it out later, or check it out on YouTube probably, But yeah, it's going to have a Tool frontman, Maynard James Keenan. He's going to be up there doing some vocals, as well as country singer star Jelly Roll, which I thought was kind of weird. I thought they would have picked someone out of Metalldom, but go figure. Maybe they're trying to add a little cornucopia, if you will.
Yeah, widen the audience.
Yeah, widen it. Then you got Zakk Wylde, from the old Ozzy days. You got Wolfgang Van Halen too. You got Van Halen's son's going to be there. Billy Idol's guitar player, Steven Stevens, and also you're going to have Andrew, the Prince of Darkness producer Andrew White is going to play guitar. It's crazy. You don't see producers get out that much to contribute live that much, Also, Robert Trujillo, the bass player of Metallica, he's going to be up there. He used to be Ozzy's bass player back in the day, so he's going to be up there. And then also the Red Hot Chili Peppers drummer, he's going to be up there as well playing the drums. So it sounds pretty fun, like a fun event. I'd like to see just like what the music sounds like, And Ozzy, he's still kicking, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, he don't look like that anymore.
Right? It's like, wow, dude. It's pretty trippy,
Yeah. There's a lot of makeup there.
Yeah, a lot of makeup, right?
Yeah.
the Ozman coming. I really started getting into Dio, man. Like his music, like I actually really like what he did with Black Sabbath. It was a lot more like fantastical, as far as in some of the lyrics, more like his band, does a lot of the fantasy stuff, and man, he was a real powerhouse with the vocals. Yeah,
it's a definite Osborne is a one off.
yeah, he's a definite one off.
Definite one off. Yeah.
I have the campaign for the Atlantean,
Okay.
I want you guys to check it out. I think that it's definitely
I'll take that as a compliment. That's great.
Oh yeah, definitely,
All
man.
night.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I love this painting on here, man. Again, it's going to be written by Randy Zimmerman. You're doing the interiors, and you also have like a re-release of the Shadow Kingdom as well, right?
Yeah,
with the same artist for the covers.
Yeah, we're doing a special on the Shadow Kingdom. You can pick up a hardback version here if you want to.
Nice.
There are other versions available over at Critical Blast.
Oh, okay.
So you can, and if you want an entry level, we're doing a black and white version of it. So it's a grayscale version of the colors.
Whoa, really?
I think that's for $10. So you can go and pick up a really, really reasonably priced version, so you can get into that. But we thought we'd offer the hardback as an option on this for people who hadn't got it yet.
I love that book. I just really loved it. I love the way that you drew, like illustrated the whole like
Thank you.
the Thurian age, and before the proto Thurian age, just the different gods.
Oh yeah,
that
was fun. It was fun stuff.
Metal, so metal, dude. Oh
but we wanted to do something more sort of Savage Sword of Conan.
Yeah.
And so 50 pages, episodic content, but each one is an individual story in its own right. And we wanted painted covers again, so we went to Ferreira through Red Dragon. This is all going to be republished in Brazil in Portuguese.
Oh, okay. Hell yeah!
Via the Red Dragon publisher over there. Alex is great, and so we have this association with them, and he knows the cover artist directly, and we do work that way. Although I'd quite like to mix up who's doing the covers.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think I've already spoken to Ink Spots, and nice. I'd quite like him to do the next cover for issue 2.
That would be sick,
I'll give him pencil layouts, and he'll work that up to a painted cover.
That's so cool, man. Also, another cool cat is Preston Azevedo. He's another one too. Maybe
I spoke to, yeah, I spoke to Preston while the Shadow Kingdom was going on. When we get to doing something for another platform, so like either Indiegogo or Kickstarter, we will probably Indiegogo rather than Kickstarter. We will talk to Preston then. I will have another chat, because he'd really love to do a cover for it, and it would be maybe nice to have something unique for a compendium, because that's what we'd like to do. We'd like to do issues and then put them together for people to read them in other formats. So
yeah, man, I love the whole like Savage Sword approach, where you're doing the black and white. I'm just really loving it. I mean, to be honest with you, man, like I'm collecting. That's like the only books I'm getting now is what they're doing through Heroic Signatures, and then and they're doing black and white too.
The Titan stuff is really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the best of the best at the moment. To be honest with you, I don't pick up anything else.
No, me neither.
There's nothing much out there apart from independent books. There are some great independent books, and I do pick those ones up. And the other thing was to keep the production schedule as short as possible. So if we can knock out 45, 50 pages of black and white strip, and get that out the door and have, like, 3 books a year, quality stories with quality black and white art, but with a fantastic painted cover, and some editorial as well. It's something that people can grab hold of. I wanted to have a consistency. I think the problem with comic books at the moment, or a big problem, there's many.
Yeah,
one of the big problems is consistency.
Yeah.
Consistency of quality and storytelling over a period of time, so that readers can trust what they're going to get.
Right.
And so that's what we're trying to do.
I think that'll be excellent, man. I know that for me, like, just hearing it like you're saying 3 times a year, that's going to be killer.
Yeah, that's the aim. That's the aim. I don't see why not either. Certainly in our first year to 18 months, I see no reason why that can't happen. I'd expect to get another 3 books out next year, especially as soon as we get to the end of the campaign on this. So it's like end of October, early November, it goes straight to print, because it's bar I think 5 pages, it's done. So and then when we get to issue 2, because of the gap over Christmas, we'll probably go March 1st.
Nice.
Funding on issue 2, and that will be done. It won't even be, oh, well, I've got 5 pages to ink. That's just finished. It'll be done, and I'll actually be on issue 3 by the time we go to the crowdfunder for issue 2.
That's awesome, dude. And I know, like, the big community that's reading Conan right now too. They know about your books too, and they're like, I hear about them talking about how cool it is.
Cool. Yeah, we got a great response from the Shadow Kingdom. I mean, everybody loved it, so we were really proud of it and very happy.
That's so cool, man. And then you got just 50 pages. You got the covers by Marcio
Friere. I think it's Friere. Marcio Friere. Yeah. Perfect. Sorry, bound. Marcio, if that's a bad pronunciation of your name.
My bad. The classic Bronze Age black and white and ink wash. I noticed that too. You had the ink wash, because I remember seeing the Shadow Kingdom you did with just without the ink wash. It looks sick too. This looks cool too. I saw you posting it, almost like maybe a few weeks ago. And
I can show a couple of pages. Yeah, I can show you a couple of pages tonight if you like. So
yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
And I just love that this is the first issue, like, of Kull. He's the Atlantean. In the Thurian age. He's years and years and years before Conan, guys.
2,000 or 3,000 years, something along those lines. We can't use the name Kull on the front cover because that's trademarked.
Yeah.
But we can tell stories about him because the Shadow Kingdom is fully in open use. It's I've gotten the
public domain.
Public domain. Thank you very much. It's late here, or early, depending on where you are. So the characters within the Shadow Kingdom are fully public domain. So we're taking on a story from there and moving forward. So the Shadow Kingdom is a jumping off point, or jumping on point, should I say? And we're telling the story of how they go on the Great Hunt, which is them basically chasing down the Serpent men, the Empire of Serpent men. And it's their journey. It's basically like the old Planet of the Apes or Logan's Run or whatever. It's like this episodic. You've got this story arc over the top, but each episode has got its own story within it. So
that's awesome, man. And it's cool because it kind of relates to modern times in some ways.
Some
of it in the game, a little bit. To a certain degree. I just really think that's a cool concept, and I love the whole pastiche, idea of moving forward. And we got a lot of cool stories that have been done and redone, and now it's cool to see where we can take it forward. Let's make new legends. You know what I mean? And I love that you guys are doing that.
Exactly. So I mean, as much as they retold Conan and Kull stories back in the day, in the 70s and what have you, the Severins, Roy Thomas, and all the artists, Buscema, Alcala, Chan, all those people told fantastic stories. There were some originals. There was obviously a lot of original stuff as well. Yeah. And that's all we're doing. We're just going that same route, just with Kull. But obviously we can't use the name on the front cover. So the Atlantean is the obvious thing to call him because that's where he came from.
Yeah, that's such a good title too, man. My kid's middle name is Atlantis.
Oh, cool.
I think what he did with Atlantis was like the coolest thing. I think Howard, if you're gonna do pastiche, I think personally that's the guy that I would pick.
Mm.
He's just,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he's the OG. And I think,
Yes, he is. Yeah, he is the OG. Yeah.
and he had the OG shared universe, and
Mm.
Thole being at the top of it. And I think that we don't get enough Cole. I love
No,
Conan,
well,
my
yeah,
favorite, but we don't get enough Cole.
yeah. Conan was just he was looking for a pulp characters. They did the Kull character, but they wanted something. The editors and they wanted something more romantic, I suppose, more sort of guttural. And he
Guttural and
came
like
up with Conan. So Kull in some ways is looked at as like kind of like a pre-Conan character, but he's a very different character.
mhm,
There are similarities, of course there are, and they are supposedly related.
right,
Conan
right.
is
Like
related to Kull, so there's
3,000
that
years.
similarity in the way they look as well. So.
And for me, like their personalities, like I'd still have to read like more of the books and really get the comparison. But me, like
Mm.
when I see them, I see Conan, what in relation to him, is personality wise, or at least weathered wise. That's when he's King Conan. Other than that, he's not. He's like the little brother that's still running around and he has pure freedom. And Cole is like, I've been there, I've done that, bro. And
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
really
that
tough,
that that
but I've
is.
been there, and I'm thinking
I
about
think that
stuff a little more. Conan just like, no,
I,
let me get in there.
I think that's a good way of seeing it. Actually, yeah, yeah. Cull is more refined and more considerate as far as he concerns himself with the world and how it works. The majority of stories you have with Conan, he's a rogue. He's
Yeah,
out there
he's a
doing his thing,
pure freedom, a
and
rogue.
yeah.
And then
So
he's about Basilia, and he's seen a lot of stuff, and he's been through
mm.
slavery, and he's very world renowned as well, right? And he's
Yeah,
world
yeah.
global.
He's also a little bit sort of under the pressure of the world as well. So yeah.
So he has all that, and so he's thinking more. He's very
Mm.
cerebral. Conan is too, but he has more years of experience. So there's actually a lot to for me to take away, and he's taller, he's bigger. Like that's the way I see him. Like a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Maybe a
Because
little bit slimmer.
yeah,
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 just
definitely
a little bit more wiry, but
taller maybe a
no,
bit,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's so cool, man. I love this art, dude.
yeah. I had great fun drawing a lot of this. Obviously, Buscema is a big inspiration for me, but there's so many other artists that were involved back in the day that had an effect on me. So
Like, I just
hopefully, it's
figured out.
just my art that's coming through, and
Well, like I was saying, dude, like I said 6 months ago, like, yeah, you're a pro and your art is phenomenal. But I thought that was what you did with the black and white stuff and what you're doing with the Shadow Kingdom. I thought that was your best stuff. Now I
oh
think this is
yeah,
your best stuff.
oh thank
Like
you.
like
Well, that's the
and your
idea.
style too. I just like
Yeah,
wow,
every
like
time you come back to the table, it should be your best stuff. It's just it's
right,
the way it should be.
like
Yeah,
no matter what, right? That should be
yeah,
the game plan, right?
yeah, definitely.
And you have a few tiers over here. Um, maybe we can get into those right there. We got the $15. That's the digital one right there.
No, no, that's the physical. We're
Wow, that's a
we're
great.
selling it $15. That's what we
What?
want to do. Yeah, okay. I know it's low, but the
No, that's
idea
good.
is that we get more and more readers. What we want 500 to 1,000 readers. And to be
Yeah,
perfectly honest, when we get up to that kind of to level, I'd want to take the price down even further.
yeah,
So
yeah. No,
yeah.
that's brilliant, bro. After the show, I got to talk to you about some other people I'd like or another dude I'd like you to talk to about
Mhm.
this. Um, this is such a great price, man. The price point's awesome. I know the world's, you know, right now we're in a like kind of like a
Yeah,
depression, so like the
it's
money.
hard. Yeah.
Yeah, so like you offering that with this package, it's just oh man, you really really Russ, you deliver really awesome products whenever you do
I
like
think the it's a standard US internal postage price as well. So I think it's just around
ten
just
bucks or
under
something.
$10 or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's
So
crazy good
yeah,
because we're usually paying like 35. You know what I mean for 50.
it,
You know,
exactly. I mean, it is black and white. I did actually put out a little poll. It was only small, but I got a fairly good response of for $15 a 50-page black and white is okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh,
so
sure.
I thought go for that and give the people what they want.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. And on a side topic, are these werebears? Are these like bear wolves?
Yeah,
These
they're
are
like
fucking
bear
dope.
wolves. Yeah,
I was about to say, dude.
big bear wolf, giant
Oh,
bear wolf things. Yeah.
so cool, dude. Um, yeah, I love that. And then you've
This
got
first issue is very much adventure.
oh,
So
I love it.
we've got the whole sort of we've got the lizard thing in the background. It's about how it sets the scene for how Kull and Brawl work together.
Yeah.
Um, and there's some great fight scenes. And then they chuck in a couple of extra characters, and then it moves on. But it's a story in itself, a great adventure story. It's good fun. It's good fun.
Good fun. You get your beer, after work, you come home, you open up some Atlantean, huh? And you get
Yeah,
your beer
definitely.
or your nice thing of whiskey, like I got right here. And you
Ale,
go through it. Or your ale. Hell yeah.
ale.
And you just keep going through it, man. That's why I always say L, yeah. And it's just a fun read, guys. And that was the point. That was pulp.
Yeah,
You're getting home, you're building the skyscrapers in New York, you're eating your submarine sandwich at work, hammering the nails, you come home. You want that fast paced, pulpy story. You know what I mean?
escapism. Yeah, pulp is what it's all about. That's what comics were.
That plot, you
That's
know what I
why
mean?
they were so valuable in the 90s, because most comics went in the bin, in the
Right?
garbage. That's why they were valuable, because they were rare. This whole sort of thing about making alternative covers, and not that I have any issue with alternative covers,
Yeah,
people can do what they like, but the mainstream doing those kind of predatory practices just to inflate prices and what have you, that's not what comics are about. Comics are about communication and storytelling, and
yep,
letting people have fun and kind of go off into another space where they don't have to worry about the woes of the world. Doesn't mean you can't do serious comics, doesn't mean you can't do slice of life and all kinds of great stuff. Manga does it all the time and does it really,
yep.
really well. But the comics that I loved, that's what I'm doing. That I'm
Oh
just
yeah,
reproducing as best as I can the stuff that I love. So it's all about entertainment and fun.
it's so cool, man. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah,
And
plenty of toxic masculinity. That's what you
oh
want.
yeah, we need more. We need more of that over here in the U.S. for sure, in parts of Europe as well. You save $10, which you get what, two right there? It says.
Two, yeah, yeah. You can get two reading copy and a keeping copy, or perhaps sharing the postage price. That kind of thing.
It could be a little present. Give it to somebody or have a reader
Oh yeah,
copy. You can get your
yeah.
your beer,
Give comics
beer
away
fingers, all
as
over it.
much as you can. Give comics to kids, to friends, whatever. Get people reading.
Get people reading again. Like my buddy, I got a buddy, one of my best friends. Like we do a lot of video games and comic books and movies and guitar playing and stuff
Mm,
like weightlifting, martial arts. But he's like,
cool.
hey, I think I'm gonna start reading books now.
Yeah,
He's like, I picked up like actual novels. I'm like, yeah, dude, it's a totally different form of multimedia.
yeah.
Like,
Do it.
you're
Yeah,
gonna get a different thing, and your brain is gonna populate so much more. It's just different, dude. It's
yeah.
a different form of multimedia.
Yeah. I mean, and comics are a gateway drug to hardcore literature.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and
totally.
comics should never be considered anything less than
Nope,
any of the other mediums. They're
nope.
just a different way
Just
of
different way.
producing stories. My view is they're the best storytelling medium ever.
Yeah, no, I agree
So
with that, 100%, dude. And
yeah,
it's like you're filling in the bubbles, right?
mm,
And then with
yeah,
with literature, you're filling in all the bubbles, and
that's
it's
right. Yeah,
it's just tapping just different like parts of your brain, and playing video games, it's the same thing, or
mm,
watching a movie, but it's
that's
just
right. Yeah, yeah.
I don't really play video games anymore. I love them, but I don't. I'm too busy like
I'm
creating.
too old.
I'm creating. I'm trying to work on writing and comics and world building and
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
YouTube and
yeah.
promoting and stuff like that. So I'm like, I can
Making
be doing that.
things.
I can be doing that, then
Yeah,
instead of God of War, or
yeah.
something.
Actually doing something, being
Yeah.
creative.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a part of my brain that's like, oh, that's what we're doing now. You're gonna do this to me, really? You're gonna cheat? Like I'm cheating on my other alter like creative side of my brain. It feels like it's getting cheated on. Um, but dude, I love this cover, man, for the Shadow Kingdom right here too. I was like,
Yeah,
wow,
it was a great cover. Yeah, it was good
go
fun.
together, you know, they just go together. Just nice package. I can't wait to tell my little brother about this. He's gonna freaking love this. He's big Howard fan. He's reading the Brand
Cool.
McMorn by Del Rey books right now.
Brilliant.
I know he's gonna dig into this. Again, you could save $10 on that. I think that would be for the new readers. You should pick up those two right there, and you're gonna save some coin. Awesome, awesome stuff. And then you got the book plus a sketch.
Yeah,
that's a sketch.
No, that's just a sample, but it's not far off that. Yeah,
that's awesome, man. That's like it's pretty. You got a lot of stuff going on in there, you know.
Yeah, that's from really the cover. That was from the original version of the cover of the first version of the cover of the Shadow Kingdom.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean the sketches that I did for everybody last time very similar in content. So Brian's here. Hey, Brian.
A big Howard fan right here, and fan of the Shadow Kingdom. Brian,
yes.
How you doing, brother?
Yes, and I'm happy to say that I loved the Shadow Kingdom.
Thank you. Good.
Because here's the thing, right? There's a very finite number of Robert E. Howard stories, right? Because he died when he was like 30. And, so there aren't that many Kull stories. So these have been adapted and readapted over and over and over again. Luckily, they're great stories, so you don't mind. And you kind of actually, as a comic book reader and a Robert E. Howard fan, learn to kind of appreciate what different people do with it. Yeah. And I've read at least like 3 other versions of this story, and this was by far the best.
No, thank you. That's because we kept it as close as we could. That's why it stands out, I think, because it's the closest to the original prose, and that's the point. So because we love it so much. So
I love the way it starts up too. He just riding into the town, just checking up on his military, making sure they're not getting too fat. All right, cool. Let's do a little parade. But he's still like, he's still paranoid.
He's still checking it out. Yeah.
Or I actually identify more with Kull than Conan. And I love Conan, but it's like, oh damn, I'm more like Kull, dude. I'm more like,
oh my god,
fucking Kull.
That's why this is one of the reasons why Kull, I think, is the better character. Yeah, I said it. Is because he's a little bit more relatable.
He's relatable.
Conan is the man that every man wishes he was.
Like 30 all the time, running around,
But Kull has the worries of the world on his shoulders as well, and that's what men have.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But the thing is, it's like Conan has absolutely, just pure confidence in himself, right? He's always looking outward. Kull is always kind of looking inward.
Yeah.
So they're very different characters. And I think that, there was a great disservice that was done when it was El Camp, I think. That was his job of taking old Robert E. Howard Kull stories and turning them into Conan stories.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? And so now it's like this tangled web that's been untangled. Right. So we're getting the original unmolested versions of the stories, and we're getting really great adaptations like this too.
Awesome.
It's a great time to be a Robert E. Howard fan.
Yeah, this is the time of Howard. It's blown up, and it's proper. Yeah. He deserves it, and I'm glad that you guys have, or like, you guys are putting it down on the Kull front, man, and like he needs more love, and they're going to be putting out their goal is like 3 books a year, I'd be happy to get 1 book a year from you guys, but you guys are doing great. So I'm just like, fuck, that's so awesome.
That's the idea.
$15, Brian.
Yeah. Foster a growing readership. That's what you want to do. You just want to entertain people.
Yeah.
You just want to make sure that and that consistency thing as well. That's really important. And like I said, it's not happening in comics at the moment. Whether it be a team on a comic or the writing or the way that they show a character, the mainstream books are just all over the place.
All over.
If you can get something the next issue, or it's all over the place, and that's what we want to do.
Like when Marvel, when Marvel got the license to make Conan comics again, I just remember thinking, why?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Seriously.
because you're not going to be able to do a real Conan comic. And it was like every month they had to like change the cover. Jason Aaron had to continually apologize. It was ridiculous.
It was hilarious, is what it was.
It really was. It really, in a way, it was. But the thing is, that would have hurt a lot more if we didn't have books like this, the dope Conan comics that are coming out from
those are great books.
France.
From the Titans books are brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, they're amazing.
We had those Ablaze books prior to that, which were brilliant as well, in different ways. It's great stuff.
Amazing.
And you're selling original art on here too, right, Russ?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you get the issue and the art, huh? For 200?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome, man. That's so cool when
page
you do that,
like this. There you go.
Oh, here we go. Let me get you full layout. Oh wow, that's so fucking metal. Look at the wax on there, man.
Oh man,
I love it.
Oh, you just gave Matt an erection.
Yeah, man. That's
I love think about that.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, man.
So you guys, that art right there, man. You get the book and the art. You can put that up in your living room, in your office, in your study, in your man cave.
Man cave.
And no one's gonna say shit. They're gonna love it. Original cover ink. So you're selling the original cover. Wow.
Yeah. So what I do is I've done this for the first one, and this will be for the same for every one. I do the pencils for the cover, and then hand those pencils off. In this case, it was to Friere, Marquis Friere. But next time, hopefully, it will be to Ink Spots.
Oh, nice!
Oh, hell yeah!
And then I do an inked version of it. So on the inside front cover, you get my inked version, and on the outside, you get the painted version.
So cool.
So every book will do the same thing.
Yeah.
So.
And Ink Spots, like Preston, he's a little Swiss Army knife. You know what I mean?
We love that guy.
Really cool, like styles that they could do with
Ink Spots. He did one for me on Only Death Can Save Us, and so did Preston. And they were the artwork was just phenomenal, just amazing.
I remember that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, those are the guys, man.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's like criminal. I mean, I actually seem to be successful in like lighting a fire under Inky's ass, right? He posted, his new version of like Metal Mayhem Rock Boy. I'm like, dude, focus on that.
Yeah.
You need to do that. We need to get that, and
Well, I've got him penciled in for November. So basically, once I've started issue 2. And I've got my head around the story, I can pop the cover together and get it over to him, and so we can start marketing that early.
Oh, awesome!
See, and so, ladies and gentlemen, the ball's rolling on this. They're shooting for 3 issues a year. I haven't backed yet. I will be backing this book, before the campaign ends. We're at 58 backers strong. Get in there and back it. You know what I mean? You will not be sorry. I promise you. Okay. But yeah, you guys come and check this out. Okay. And I got the link pinned at the top.
Yeah, brilliant. We started with a low funding goal because we knew we just wanted to do it.
Oh yeah, no,
it's happening. So I've committed myself to effectively a year to 18 months of doing this, and it's I suppose it's a new business venture for me. You start small and build, and the idea of that consistency and quality, hopefully. Word of mouth will spread.
Well, yeah, it will happen, and I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen over the last year or two with Titan, and people because they brought the goods and there were consistency. They had follow through, initiative, and consistency. And I know you're going to do the same thing, even for you doing it now. Like I said, you were here 6 months ago. You got the second one already ready. To me, that's already consistency. So I know I could depend on you, and people are going to keep coming back. So you keep doing that, and you're bringing one of the best characters of all time back, to the forefront. So people are gonna be there. They're gonna show up. I know they will. So show up right now, everybody. Come in there and get some. We're at
I'm actually backing it right now.
We're at 1935, and we're gonna
seriously. You cannot go wrong with this series. I mean, I'm excited because what you're doing is you started out with the Shadow Kingdom, right? Which is one of the great Robert E. Howard stories. I mean, Snake Men out the yin yang, right?
It is, yeah.
It's some
fabulous. Yeah.
Right. It's just it's just such a great yarn. But here you're setting out and now you're doing like your own Kull stories.
Yeah.
That's what this is, right?
Yeah, that's it. It's all original. The idea being that the reason that it's public domain is, the Shadow Kingdom is fully public domain. We've checked it, double checked it. We're simply taking the characters of the Shadow Kingdom, which is Kull and Brawl, and we're taking them on a journey. And we're doing it in the way, hopefully, that Robert E. Howard would have liked to have done it.
I think so.
I
think he's really happy with this, bro.
Randy is a huge fan of Robert E. Howard, always has been. So he jumped at the chance of us getting together for the Shadow Kingdom, and he's absolutely loving this. He's enjoying himself. So
it's like the one, like it's like you want to do Spider-Man or Batman. It's like, yeah, I'd probably do like Conan or Cole or Solomon Kane or Brad Mac characters. Like I would just kind of go to that universe. You know what I mean? And Cole is just, again, the more you learn, if you're a Conan fan, the more you're gonna really like identify with that character. Oh, look at all this. Oh, I'm loving it.
Beautiful black and white art.
And he's putting the ink wash down, Brian, on this one now. It looks great, dude.
Oh man,
I'm enjoying it. It's great fun. So
it is, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, that's the thing about a good Robert E. Howard comic. They're just fun.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
and they just move the momentum.
And you don't know what to expect.
I mean, he was a pulp writer, and it just like the forward momentum, right? Just that kind of pacing is just so perfect for the comic book medium. I absolutely when I read the Shadow Kingdom was thinking that Howard would have been proud of that. There's a lot for sure.
Well, I love it. It's so epic. People throw around the word epic, but that's what pulp is. It's epic. They throw you right into the middle of the battle, or in the middle of the plot, or in the middle of some shit.
They're in the shit. They're in the shit. You're right.
They're
in the shit. And like Conan the beginning of the story, he might be like crucified. He might be hanging from a cross, right? Or he might be king. And the Kull stories don't jump around through his life so much. I mean, as far as I recall, the Kull stories that Howard did, he's always king, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That he's like a barbarian king, and in a very, very civilized a part of the world, right? Like
Atlantis,
metropolitan.
Yeah. That's it. He's a barbarian king. Yeah, he's
fish out of water,
and he's got a past. That's the whole point.
Yeah, but it also reminds me a little bit of like Tarzan's New York Adventure.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why I just brought that up, but I just like that's such a dope movie.
So
taking the barbarian and putting him amongst the civilized and seeing what happens.
Especially the court stuff, where he's got to do the daily sort of sitting down with the wise men and the courtiers and all the rest of it, and sorting out stupid stuff. And we have a couple of references to that.
Oh, I love
it. There's the ink there's my ink, and there's Ferreira's cover. So you get this every issue, and you'll get a pin up as well.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
And then
it almost looks like an animation cell.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'd
love
to hear see some of these panels just kind of just like the slides and voiced over. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's so good, dude.
So he's there thinking, and that's where you find him at the start of the story in the Dragon's Breath, which is this inn that he starts this particular story off in.
If you guys haven't picked up the Shadow Kingdom, man, like I was saying earlier in the stream, Brian, remember towards the end when they're learning about the lore, the lore of the proto Velsulia, before the Thurian Age, and they're talking about all the like the beasts, all the demons. Oh my God, it's so cool, and the way Russ just depicted everything, dude.
Oh man,
that was because that was just like it was basically 4 pages of history of kind of setting the scene of the world, as it were.
I loved it.
And there were like lizard men and vampires,
yes,
dragons, and it was cool. It was good fun. Yeah, it was good fun. Yeah.
It's like Tolkien kind of did some of that later on, like but really like werewolves.
Yeah,
like,
Howard was the original.
I mean, I was telling Brian about that, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's werewolves. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like in Conan's world, that's the nature of the things that he runs into, and the magic he runs into is that they're rare, that they're incredibly rare, and that they're from some long forgotten age, right? And Kull is from a long forgotten age, which has its own long forgotten age, right?
Oh,
it's just it's just
there's stuff way back in there in antiquity and like the scary stuff.
Yeah, it gets
and there's still bits of it hanging about. And there's, like you say, there's a little bit more when Kull is around. So, Nosferatu. I've heard
we got a new one.
Yeah,
new one coming out. Like, and this isn't the one by Eggers. So this one's is a Symphony of Horror starring Doug Jones. And we're gonna go back. We're gonna look at the Atlantean a little bit at the end of the stream.
Yeah, no problem.
Where their numbers are at. And this one's releasing this month, right? And they've been working on this for a long minute. So Doug Jones of Hellboy fame, Shape of Water. Pan's Labyrinth, love the Guillermo movies. Fabulous actor. Announced way back in 2016, Dave Lee Fisher was directing a new take on the horror classic Nosferatu with Doug Jones and starring as Count Orlok. 8 years later, the film has finally gotten a title and a release date, and Doug Jones stars as Nosferatu, a symphony of horror, and it's a remix of the 1922 original with new actors, dialogue, sound, and a musical score. And it's going to hit Apple TV on the October 18th, the 18th. And the movie is scene for scene the same story as the original short silent film. But with the new cast, and it has a green screen. And
I like the clever use of the word remix instead of remake.
Yeah, right. And it's the same shot as the other movie with the green screen. Yeah, and it's
the Gus Van Sant Psycho.
Yeah. And with it'll have a green screen and a digitally created backdrop from the original film. So they're going to actually have the backdrop from the original film.
Wow.
With new actors. So I think this will be. This is him right there.
I love the makeup, but shit, man, I think this is a bad idea.
This is cool right here. I'm just not digging the fangs. You got to have those rat teeth in the front.
Rat teeth.
Personally, but there he is again. Definitely gonna check it out. Definitely going to check it out. I think it's going to be a fun experiment for film and just the genre unto itself. I don't think we've ever seen this specifically. I think it's going to be a cool little experiment. And I mean, Eggers, that's kind of what I wanted to see. Like, do something different. Like, you could tell Eggers is doing something different, So,
he's going like full hammer.
Full hammer. And
and he said in an interview, he's like, I'm going to make Gothic horror scary again.
Oh,
and everything I've seen of that makes me think like that's what the new Hammer should be.
Exactly.
Like not this crap like Dr. Jekyll that they put out, right?
Right.
I mean,
right.
They just
something different though. Like you
started screaming, but it's just like hopefully this will be like the Eggers version will be a huge hit, and then they'll get their fucking heads right and go, hey, wait a second, maybe we could do this, but with like lots of like garish color and booby dresses.
Yeah.
Booby dresses and lots of cleavage and just straight up Gothic horror. There's no reason why you can't make Gothic horror scary again.
That's going to be cool. And then Brian, James Hurley, he wants to know, saying Night of the Living Dead and House on Haunted Hill and The Thing, those were good remakes. Yeah. Robert Eggers films haven't done well, and he's a huge fan. No, they haven't. I think they're just a little ahead of their time, obviously, kind of like The Thing and things like that, But they just haven't found the audience from the get. That's how I truly believe. But yeah, I thought you guys might get a kick out of this. We all know Eggers' movie's coming out, and I think it's gonna clean up. And his Nosferatu, he's bold with it. We don't know what he looks like specifically. Bill Skarsgård said, please do not show the character. They did that with Pennywise, and it kind of ruined everything. Keep the character in shadow, and they've been doing that with the two trailers. So I think it's the way to go.
It is.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna go grab a little drink real quick.
You got it.
Or actually, there's this video, a music video I want to show you guys. This band's the Halo Effect, and it's comprised of members from my favorite band, In Flames. So all of them left the band and were kicked out, and they started their own band called the Halo Effect, and they have a new song out, and it's about 4 minutes. So I don't know if you guys want to go get a drink or whatever.
Musical interlude, love it.
Yeah, I do. I do that every week. I try to nail it right in the center with some metal, like Headbangers Ball, but not the whole show. And I've never heard this song before, but this is my style of music of metal I like. So this one's called Detonate. We'll see if it's any, we'll see if it's good. So here it is, guys.
All right, I'll turn my camera off because nothing's worse than watching myself watching something.
It's your dog.
Ooh.
Feel the darkest thoughts within this fortress walls. We're falling down inside. We're just waiting. The absence is everywhere. Could get away from us. The absence is everywhere. Could get away. We just close our eyes. We just close our eyes. Let the darkness take us. We reach out to the inside. Begin the journey back wherever it ends. Breathe the chase of this deadlock. Before we detonate, what is left? What is left of our minds? For as far as motivation will take us, the forces that are running us down, no equilibrium, we're dark of war. What emotions will take us there? What emotions will hold us back? With equal force, in equal measure. We just close our eyes. We just close our eyes before we detonate. We reach out to the inside. Begin the journey back wherever it ends. Break the chains of this deadlock. Before we detonate, what is left? What is left of our minds? Before we detonate. We reach out to the inside. Begin the journey back wherever it ends. Break the chains of this deadlock. Before we detonate. We reach out to the inside. Begin the journey wherever it ends. Break the chains of this deadlock. Before we detonate. What is left of our minds? Before we detonate.
Booyakasha!
I like his head exploded. That was dope.
Boom.
Oh, exploding heads are always welcome. Man, I got to see Scanners and Dawn of the Dead, and at a double feature in a drive-in when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
Double exploding head feature, man. And I'm telling you, both times when those fucking heads popped,
yeah,
people like in the audience in the cars were just leaning on their horns.
Hey, this is Stygian Dogs, man. He's got an awesome like Howard channel, bro. I don't know if you're subbed to him yet, Russ, but go sub to Stygian Dogs.
Check him out.
It's a Howard channel. He's he's on.
He's your hookup like the Black Lotus.
He's on it like Blue Bonnet. But yeah, I dug that song. I thought it was dope. Never heard it before. Love the guitar melodies. Very catchy. Very old school melodic death metal. Old school In Flames sounding. It's funny because all those guys were in Flames, when they started in 1990.
Shit! They formed like Megadeth, basically a Megadeth to
all of them, like every single one of them was in Flames at one point. But yeah, no, that's the Halo Effect. That's their second album's coming out. That's the first single, Detonate. But yeah,
cool.
It's part of the show, Russ, where we do a little hunting. So we're gonna go over some monsters right now. Crocata is a globally distributed mythical dog wolf. It's originating in India as well as Ethiopia. The crocata has the body of an extremely large dog, sometimes as large as a mule. Its head resembles that of a hyena. It has cloven hooves, a horse-like mane, and a tail that resembles that of a lion. So it's pretty crazy. The fur ranges in color from orangish. Yeah, I was thinking of chimera too. I guess the fur ranges from yellowish, orangish to brownish, black, and can include spots or stripes resembling that of a hyena or a tiger. Sometimes it's depicted without having teeth. Of it, this one looks very historic right there. I think the hooves thing is like the main takeaway, that you don't really hear stuff about things like that too much. Usually different cats or whatnot, or hyenas, that's what it sounds like to me. But there's a really cool picture right here on the side right there. And the Croatia has the ability to mimic human speech, and it uses this power to lure its victims to it, usually by pretending to be someone in trouble. The creature often uses a voice that that of the victim, and recognizes, and it sometimes calls the victim by a name, or it includes another personal information in its cry for help. The crocata has no unusual vulnerabilities or powers, although it is resilient to damage. It can be overcome by conventional weapons. So you get out there, put some buckshot in it.
But it can mimic
like a great film.
Because at first I was thinking, like, how is this even a monster? It sounds more like like an animal, right? But if it's mimicking people's voices to draw in victims, now it's a fucking monster. But like, it's interesting.
Like, to me, this is one of the coolest ones I've seen in a while.
It's I'd say.
I like that.
And it says right here, I think it's cool, and I like this image right here of it. Like, it looks more like piggish, I guess. The crocata can survive in any type of climate or terrain as long as there is plenty of food available, but are most often found in areas where herd-like animals, sheep, cattle, or deer are plentiful. They often make their lairs in caves or abandoned buildings because they are so rarely encountered in modern-day America. M-Force has not been able to determine very much specific information about the creature's life cycle and habits. Crocata appear to have animal-level intelligence, and their mimicry seem to be similar to that of a parrot. Okay, well, either way, that's fucking pretty crazy.
Spooky. Yeah. It means that they're not sentient. It means that they're like an animal.
Yeah, like that. To me, that's very, like, it's still an animal, right? However, their ability to mimic voices.
Bear in the Alex Garland joint, Annihilation, right? Remember how that could mimic the voices of its victims? That was fucking spooky as hell.
What was that movie called?
Annihilation.
Was the one from the 80s, right?
No. That's like our Alex Garland's remake of a Russian science fiction movie called Stalker. Basically.
I'm thinking of that one that was called something else. Remember, like they were camping and there was that big ass bear that was running around ripping everybody to pieces. It was in like the 80s.
Oh, Prophecy.
Prophecy. I knew it had like a name that had nothing to do kind of with the.
Yes. Yeah.
But still, that movie was cool.
That had a newspaper ad and a TV commercial that like traumatized a generation.
I could see, and it made sense. It was like, very plausible, right?
Well, it consisted mostly of a close up of the monster inside its mother's belly.
Yeah,
like
fetus. Yeah,
you saw the monster all curled up in utero. This big eye. It was just, I was just spooky. That and the TV commercial for Magic. Those two specifically, like traumatized a generation. It was awesome.
It says right here also too. However, their ability to mimic voices known to the victim, and in some cases causes the victim's name or other personal information, leads to researchers to believe that the creatures have some sort of rudimentary form of telepathic ability. While Crocata will and do eat humans, they seem equally satisfied with other forms of meat and do not go to unusual lengths to find human prey. And there's a lot more to read up on this guy. Just go over to Crypto Wiki. You can learn about the Indian accounts as well as the Ethiopian. And Brian, once you start getting in there, that's when you start doing your Hellboy, your Mike Mignola, like, that's when the scary stuff starts popping in, the fun stuff, right? Some of it's in there, but right now it's kind of like telekinesis aside, it's plausible that's it's just an
sorry, dude, I just cut out just as you were addressing me, Brian.
Oh, my bad. I was saying that if you go back to the Wikipedia page, if you check out the Ethiopian and the Indian accounts of it, it gets a little more spookier, and that's probably the more like Mike Mignola, Hellboy type stuff, that we like.
I could see that creature cropping up at some point. That's a good creature, and it's got a great simply because of the mimicry. It has that story point to it. You can you can sort of slip that into a story quite nicely.
You could put that in a cult story. No.
Exactly.
People are peering into the forest because they're hearing the voices of like their
yeah.
I was talking to this guy that like lived in Germany, and he was talking about the Black Forest this week, and he was saying that you walk up to the Black Forest and it's completely black. And he says that, like, I mean, obviously there's villages when you go deep miles deep into there, but like the people that live around like the entrance to the forest, they don't go in there. It's like nighttime when you go in there, like from the first few miles, and you just in the daytime, and you don't go in there, and at night you definitely don't go in there. I'm just like, oh wow, okay. Well, I mean, I want to go in there, I want to go over there. I want to learn about the Brother Grimm and my Black Forest ham and.
The barbarians did have these people called the Nachtjägers. And the Nachtjägers were, like the name would imply, night hunters. And so when the battle in the Teutoburg Forest went down, those poor Roman centurions had no fucking chance, because at night, like the main barbarian troops would go and rest and recover from the, treat their wounds and shit. And during the night, that's when the Nachtjäger would come in and just fuck with them.
Destroy
like
them.
Ninjas.
I could see though, like how like some barbarian groups or stories could originate from there, like, and there's still to this day, there's new lore that this is populating up over there. And I'm just like, oh, that's so metal.
There's something very magical about that.
Check it out. Russ, we also got another component to the show. This is a little guessing game we play every week. I think you might get a kick out of it. So it's kind of fun. But let's get into it.
Black Metal Decode.
All right, guys, you ready? Can you guess this band name? It's a little easier.
Okay. All right. Sometimes you need to back away from these.
Yeah. Well, you got to go in and out,
like a canvas or something. Well, those look more like letters.
Yeah. There's runes on the bottom.
I noticed those, but I'm trying like not to be distracted by them.
No, but yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're just part of the
right,
logo.
it's a T and an H at the end.
Yeah. Is that an E, the H? So is that a death at the end?
Mm-mm.
Got an E and an R in the middle.
It is an ETH.
LLE.
Yep.
Illith. Philith.
Yeah, you got that word right. Yeah, you did.
Hater Philith?
You're almost there.
Hilter.
Nope. Almost there, guys.
Hither Philith?
Nope.
No. Hatterfield. No,
That Stygian just says winter. Winter Philith.
Yep, you're right. That's it.
Well done, Stygian.
Ding, ding,
Check
ding,
it out.
Ninja Dog's
Winter
got it.
Philith.
Yep, that's it, man.
Wow.
Hell yeah. Hell.
There's a lot of work in that logo.
Yeah.
Seriously.
That was an easy one.
Just for me.
That was an easy one.
I felt like that one didn't cheat. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, it didn't. And it was kind of like for me, like I like them, you know, I like the metal, like the black metal logos and just the hard to read logos, but there's got to be some fun. There's got to be like that. Like I think that one's good. You know, like it took a minute, but it was still there. You still get your little metal artsy fun, but it's still you know, marketable. And a lot of bands don't do it anymore, you know, and a lot do it. So.
Well, because it's kind of like taking the band name and turning it like into like a magical sigil or something like
it is.
that.
Totally.
Like, so that way it's just like a symbol.
Yeah, it is. But it's branding too. And then a lot of the black metal bands, they change their names or they change their font or the logo, you know.
Yeah.
Like In Flames has like 7 logos throughout the years, you know. It's a good way to kind of like rebrand yourself every 3 albums too, you know, like kind of spice it up. But yeah, man, I got one more trailer I wanted to show you guys, or I mean a movie trailer. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's a horror movie coming out. There's a lot of Nosferatu stuff going around right now. I mean, we got the Eggers trailer that dropped a few days ago. Salem's Lot just came out, and you got a very Nosferatu-y, you know, Mr. Barlow in there. I didn't want to spoil any of that. Maybe I'll do a little TikTok short about that later on this topic. However, there is this movie that's coming out, or it's out already. It's called Little Bites. So I wanted you guys to check this out, and I think it looks pretty good. It's actually produced by Cher, as in Sonny and Cher.
Wow.
So let's go ahead and take a look-see.
All right.
God, I think you...
Here we go. Sorry.
Do you believe in God? I think you must. Because you believe in me.
I love you, baby. I love you too, Mom. What's that? Dinner bell.
I bet you're a wonderful mother.
Oh, this is Rob Zombie's brother.
You all right? You hear it too, right? It's not just me.
Mom, what's wrong with you?
It turns out monsters are real. And there's one downstairs. You wouldn't believe some of the things that we see. What's that?
Just give me the girl.
You won't have Alice. But if I find you something else to eat?
Are you hungry?
Where is he?
You underestimate me.
Mom!
No need to be afraid.
So, I don't know. I think it looks like it might be a fun horror movie. Doesn't look like it looks like a vampire, but I don't think it's a vampire. You know, I think it might be like
Reminds me of the ghoul.
Like a ghoul, like Rumpelstiltskin or something like that, you know?
The director, Spider One, that's Rob Zombie's brother. He had been in a band, real kind of shitty one, called Paraman 5000.
Yeah, they were pretty big for a minute there. They were on the NFL like a lot. They had their music on there a lot.
they had a song on the Escape from LA soundtrack, right?
Mhm.
And so it's like, so he followed his brother into making music. Now he's following his brother into making horror movies. I mean, look, you know, maybe he'll make better ones.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I didn't know it was
a good one.
I'll check it out. It looks interesting. It definitely looks interesting. Looks like something out of like Tales from the Crypt or something. You know, you pick up this hitchhiker or something. Or I mean, obviously you see him at the door. He's got the trench coat and the hat. You know, it's like, is that after he gets, or is it before? I don't know. I think it looks pretty cool though. So and very Nosferatu. You know, kind of looking in some ways. You know.
Yeah, a little more ghoulish, a little more something that can't pass for human.
Definitely.
Yeah. That's why you keep it in the basement.
Yes.
Keep in the basement. He only eats fresh meat, I guess. I guess the movie already came out because Marvelous Videos is already doing a video on his anatomy. So it's like, wow.
Well, I think
the movie didn't come out yet? What's that?
I think it's on Shudder. I know, like last night I watched VHS Beyond. That actually just came out. You know, it's October, so they're like releasing a lot of horror stuff. And, you know, there's never been more horror films and TV shows and all that stuff. It's the best time ever to be a horror fan, really. I
think so, man. Like it's and it's October. Like this is one of my favorite months of the year. I mean, I love October and March. Those are my two. I don't know. It's just like those two seasons now, the autumn and the spring, or going into spring with March towards the end. But and a little bit of rain. But yeah, man, a lot of fun movies to watch. I'm definitely gonna probably watch a horror movie tonight, or maybe Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. I might show my kid that because that movie's pretty hardcore. I'm sorry, Kalima.
When you're a little kid, yeah,
pretty brutal.
I think I'm probably gonna try to give the this New Salem's Lot a try.
Oh yeah, no, dude, it's very divisive, brother. Very divisive. I'm getting.
I've heard a lot of bad things about it.
A lot of bad, and then a lot of people coming in like saying it's awesome. Like
really, all right,
yeah. Okay. And it's not like Joker where everybody's just like, "Fuck this movie." Like everybody's hating Joker, and you look at the numbers, it's like, oh, like it's bad.
Well, I think that was almost like a practical joke, or like kind of like a fuck you, kind of like the Matrix 4.
Yeah,
right.
I heard people were saying that too. It was like a Matrix 4 Joker.
There is no Matrix 4.
Well, it's like they told the Wachowskis, like, either like you make it or we're going to do our thing. And the story is that one of the Wachowskis was like, okay, well, I'll do it, and I'll just like completely like fuck it up and cost you motherfuckers some money.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, like, while you pay me.
Last year or something, it came out. I was watching it on Christmas Eve. I think we were like getting stuff ready, and I fell asleep. I fell asleep, dude. Like I think Jada Pinkett Smith was talking to Neo or whatever, but I just kind of fell asleep and I never went back and finished it. But
I never like to
check out Salem's Lot. I'm not digging Barlow's design so far, but again, they have and Marvelous Videos has an anatomy video out about him right now too already. Like,
oh shit.
I was like, you got Barlow already. That just came out, and then Deadly or Little Bites. The movie I don't even think came out yet, or I guess it's on Shudder. So,
well, the Barlow that's in the New Salem's Lot, I'm assuming. Well, first of all, you're never gonna have a scarier Barlow than Reggie Nalder in that fucking Max Schreck makeup.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
and the fact that he was like 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
You're not gonna make anything scarier than that. That's for sure.
And I was going to say,
remember watching that David Soul Salem's Lot.
Yeah,
when I was a kid.
Me too.
Yeah,
scared me, dude.
Right when they open a coffin and when the first time you see Barlow when he comes crashing through that window, kills the poor kid's family. When he stands up, you're like, which is great. It's so rare in horror that you get that.
What the
thing,
hell?
Yeah.
So visceral. And for me, like I didn't even see the Barlow scene, and we've talked about that scene on other streams, Brian. And
it's amazing.
It was just a kid at the window. Like I couldn't get past that. That was terrifying. I had trouble sleeping.
Yeah.
And then I got Barlow later on, and I'm just like, I'm glad I didn't see that too much as a kid, because there's just something about like you're sitting in your kitchen, chilling. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's vampires out there in the world, but there's something about you feel safe. It's your kitchen. It's where you cook food, and you relax there. You make memories there, and then this thing comes through the window. This takes over the scene. It's terrifying, and then he looks visually terrifying. Those two concepts, and
it's with Toby Hooper,
and Rutger Hauer did it, but it wasn't. mean, I love me some Rucker Hauer, but him just crawling around on the ceiling and shit with a goatee.
No, I mean,
It
it's
ain't
just.
the same. It ain't
I
the
mean,
same. I
it's
know he
more
looks like that
like
in the book, but
it's
what
it's
Hooper
more
brought
like
to the TV show with the whole Max Schreck-ian vibe, the
yeah.
movie did a better job, you know.
Yes, I think so too. Right, but the character's basically Dracula.
He looks okay in the new one. I've seen pictures of him, but he's definitely not full like, you know, old school Barlow. But you can tell he's not, you know, they're not doing the Rucker Hauer thing either, you know. So
okay,
it's kind of cool.
Probably something in between, maybe.
No, I don't want to spoil it.
Oh,
I don't think you're gonna like.
right,
I don't think you're gonna like the movie.
all right.
I haven't seen the movie yet, but I've seen the way it
Can't
looks.
say it then, bro.
You know, like sometimes you see things and you can't like stop looking at it. You know, like
yes.
I saw Barlow. Like some like image popped up, and I'm like, now I gotta go look at it. Click. I'm like,
By the way, real quick,
it's okay, but he doesn't look. You know, he doesn't look that good.
Real quick,
you got over there, Brian?
Got the first of the Skybound Universal Monsters Frankenstein.
That looks awesome.
Issues. Very good. Yeah. Thumbs up on that. And
Halloween reading right there, brother.
New Werewolf by Night, which
nice.
Very anti-Marvel, but look, it came in this bag.
That's
you got
cool.
You got the ex Conan artist from Dark Horse drawing that. Salvador Dali, I forgot his name. Davia, such a good artist.
It is Davia.
Davia. He's one of my favorites.
I could be mangling that, but
that's what's so you know, frustrating about comics at the moment is that you get these few diamonds in the rough. There's these odd issues that come out that are great, but they're rare.
And you got to like follow them on like Instagram when they drop. You know, like Kyle Hotz is doing Violator. He's doing issue. He's doing 2, 3, 4, and 5. You know, and well, that's so random. And he did the Lobo. You know, he's my favorite artist. You know, but you have to kind of follow him.
He's amazing.
On Instagram to know when these books are going to drop. Like you said, they're hidden in the rough.
Yeah. You know, well, I mean, it's kind of like this is such like has been such a dark age for comics that so many of us have divested to such a degree that the comics that are good that have been coming out over the last few years, we're going to know what those are in like 5 years.
Yeah, totally.
Same thing like with, you know, there's like such a glut of horror movies. We're going to know what's good right now, what's worth watching like 15 years from now.
100%. Yeah, I saw that, Brian. I was thinking about you. I'm like, dude, I think Brian would definitely vibe on this, bro, because he likes Werewolf by Night. I like Werewolf by Night too. I just never fully got into it. And then I do like that artist. He did some fun Conan stuff with Dark Horse, I think. Right before Dark Horse lost the license to Marvel, he did a couple of cool ones. Like I do like his interiors. But yeah, hopefully it's a good book. I mean, I know it could be not so good. You know, the story could kind of.
It was okay. It was okay. There wasn't anything like cringeworthy, woke, or anything like that. It's just interesting because, I mean, the original Werewolf by Night isn't really a great comic. Neither is the Ghost Rider, Son of Satan. Those early ones are really bad. But I learned how to read as a little boy, reading those horror comics. So they have like a special place in my heart.
Oh, that makes sense.
So whenever there's like a revival, you know, I'm there for it for sure. If anything, just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
And we're speaking of comics. Everyone reading or watching right now, you need to pick up this comic, The Atlantean. Okay, this is about KULL. All right, that is the proto Conan. All right, from Robert E. Howard. You guys, if you haven't picked this up, the first book, The Shadow Kingdom. This is the second one, and this book's going to be releasing 3 times a year. And this is a perfect jumping on point. And right now we're at 58 backers. Let's go ahead and do a refresh on that. Sweet. Got another backer right there. You know, I'm going to be picking this book up too. I do have the first one. I did a review on it too. If you guys want to check it out on some of the other videos I have, it's in there. And
it's awesome.
We didn't really talk too much about the synopsis of this. Russ, I kind of wanted to save it towards the end. That way we could come back and get another bite of it. Is there anything else that you could kind of maybe tell us about the synopsis?
It's this is laying down. This is a first issue, so it's the continuation of Brawl and KULL's relationship as far as they've come together as warriors. So they only just kind of started to know each other and made their pact in the Shadow Kingdom, and you get to understand the way that they work together. There's a little bit of humor. And this is an adventure tale. Okay, so each of the issues is it's episodic, as in there is an arc, and the story is that they're chasing down the Shadow Kingdom. They're chasing down the kingdom of the Serpent Men, and they're on a road trip effectively to try and find out as much as they can and kill it. Okay, get rid of it. And in the process of doing that, they have adventures. That's what pulp is. So there's bar fights, there's bear fights, there's great looking gals. So that's what's going on in this first issue. It's setting it up, it's getting you in there, and then setting you off into issue 2. You don't have to buy every issue because each issue is a story in its own right. But obviously, we love everybody to follow the story.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. So that's another thing to know about too. You know what I mean? And it has this beautiful black and white art with ink wash, and the book is only $15, folks. Okay, we're on this new website. If you guys don't know about it, it's called Fund My Comic. It's only been around probably about maybe about almost a year. I think we're almost coming up on a year. It's in its infancy. There's 80 campaigns on here, so you can see it's growing, and it's made by comic book creators for comic book creators.
That's right. I mean, the clue is in the name, Fund My Comic. It's also very much freedom of speech orientated, so it will not ban you because it doesn't like your content. Obviously, there are standard, legal restrictions.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can show, and that's exactly right. But they're not going to stop you from having a book because they don't like what you've written in it. That's the bottom line. Right. And I think that's incredibly important in today's world. So we will be doing compilations and other products, and we will most likely go out to other platforms like Indiegogo or Kickstarter, wherever. You got to use whatever you can to get out there. But also, we will be going out to retail with these books. What we try and do is make the crowdfunder book just slightly different so that people who back anything via crowdfunding get something unique. It's not reprinted. Okay. So the crowdfunding versions are always just very slightly different. But then once they're done and they're out to everybody, they go out via Critical Blast to retail. So you can pick them up on Amazon, you can pick them up on Barnes and Noble or whatever. So in this particular case, we're offering a special price on the hardback, okay, that you can get with the book. So there's a discount on both there. But you can go and buy the hardback on your own if you want to, over at Amazon or over at Barnes and Noble. And we also do several different versions. There's a digest version, like a manga size version, but there's also, most importantly, there's a very, very reasonably priced, I think it's $10, black and white grayscale version of the whole story. And you can go and pick that up if you want to pick up something, for a reasonable price. So, and that's on Amazon at the moment as well.
That's so
RJ's
cool.
killing it, man. RJ's killing it.
I love what they're doing. Yeah, I absolutely love what they're doing.
My money so I don't have to deal with any of that shit. And then, of course, he just does such an amazing job.
He does absolutely. So, and that's also another reason why we can keep the prices low, is because we've got distribution via RJ in the States. So I'm not going down to the post office and packing up packages and having to pass on that cost. It's a lower cost. Also, the printing can be done over there, and I get the printing done for the UK and Europe over here. So it's good for everybody. And the fact that we can go out to retail afterwards that's fantastic. And as I said, we also go out to Red Dragon in Brazil, and they do a Portuguese version. So they've done a Portuguese version of the Shadow Kingdom that we produced, and they'll be doing Portuguese versions of the Atlantean as well.
Oh man, it's so exciting! I can't wait to keep reading up on this, man. And
I'm having so much fun drawing it. I'm just really enjoying myself.
It's got bear wolves, man.
That's the thing, man. If you're artist, it's like, that's why when I'm writing with an artist in mind, I try to give them stuff I just know that they're gonna love drawing. Yeah, no, it's a passion project, and that's the thing that you can get from our books that you can't get from any of the mainstream shit is passion.
That's right. That's been, unfortunately, a lot of the passion has been sucked out, and that's not to say that there aren't lots of great creators working for the larger publishers. I mean, I would have done it. I have done it. I would do it again. It's about getting paid. But it's from the top. It's definitely from the top. That all the creativity and all the passion is being sucked out via the corporate aspect of these comics. And what you get from crowdfunding, what you get from independent creators is that passion. I'm producing books that are based on the things that I love. So I love those books. So I'm going to give you, the best job I possibly can produce. And that's what you get out of crowdfunded books. Most of the time. Not all of them, but,
when they're good. When
they're good, that's when people are really passionate about it. I mean, it's a tough game. You don't. It's not about funding wise. It's difficult. It's a very difficult game to be involved in, and that's why it's difficult to have that passion, translated into the books, because everybody's on restricted budgets and time scales. I'm fortunate that I've given this a period of time. I've given it like a year, 18 months. I want to do this. And that's where it starts. If I can get up to 500 or 1,000 readers, if that's where we can hit, we can take the price down, and I can do this forever until I'm dead. So
that'd be awesome.
That's the dream, man. That's the dream right there.
That'd be awesome. And he's like the perfect character, and people.
I want to leave a legacy. Obviously,
we all do,
and that's a way of connecting. It's a way of connecting with people. It's a way of connecting with audiences and telling stories and keeping this medium alive and well. If I can help, if I can contribute to that in any way, if I can do that by having a long run of my own book, then damn it, that's a fantastic thing to be involved in. So,
amen, brother, amen. Because there's, I just feel that there's something so incredibly special about this medium. And the people that are just trashing it now just clearly have no love for it.
No, that's the problem. If you have a whole bunch of people that are using the comic book medium and the industry that encapsulates it in the West, at least, or at least the United States in general, and they're using it as a passing point. They're kind of going through it on their way to Netflix or whatever. Instead of thinking, no, this is my final destination.
Yes.
This comics is it. I don't ever want to do anything else but comics.
Like you have to tell the story, like it's bleeding within you,
I think all of us, most of us certainly, like, hey, if like a movie or an animated film or toys or all that shit came along, video game, that would be awesome. But it's about the comic.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, somebody came to me and said, "Oh, we really like Only Death Can Save Us. We'd like to do a Saturday morning cartoon." It's like, yeah, okay. Show me the money. All right. Of course. It's stupid not to. Okay. Because you can always create more things. You can always do other stuff.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
And that would be kind of awesome to see that kind of thing happen. But the reason I'm here is to make the comic books.
Yes.
That's the reason I'm here.
That medium specifically. And this book right here, this is if you're backing up on my comic, you're going to get a different version of it, and it's helping out the grassroots movement of the first issue of the Atlantean, which is the pastiche, moving forward, from Howard's work, and let's see what we could do with this sandbox. You know what I mean? What Zimmerman and Leech could do with it, and what they're doing, it's going to be phenomenal. And if you guys haven't picked up the first one, pick up the proto story that it's technically like the epilogue, pick up that one and this one, and this is the first one, like Russ was saying.
And I just have to just throw in, it's just so great to see a Kull that doesn't have that stupid scar on his face.
Well, that's the trademark bit. We can't do that.
Oh shit!
Well, it was just like because he doesn't have that in the story.
No, he doesn't. I think they did that in the Marvel comics to differentiate him from Conan.
Right.
But
visually,
Sorbo rocking it. Sorbs wasn't rocking it,
No. But the thing is it was silly because you could have those characters side by side and tell which one is which.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
Even just their faces
and their anatomy.
Yeah,
We were talking about that a little bit earlier too. Like I was saying, like I kind of picture him as like a little taller than Conan, you know, and like maybe a little lankier, you know. And he was saying something similar, right, Russ?
Yeah, so maybe it's sort of like just a little bit sort of a taller, just a little. I see that, but yeah, it's how they are. It's their approach. It's about the whole thing, and I think they did that as a visual marker.
it was lazy and foolish, but
I toyed with the idea of getting in touch with Kevin Sorbo at one point.
That'd be sick. Wow. Yeah, you should. I mean, it's a great idea.
Call, I thought.
I thought it
was. He's a good guy.
It needed statement.
I toyed with the idea, but I thought because it might have been cool to have actually used his likeness.
That would have been good. That
would have been cool.
Like,
but I just thought that was it'd probably end up being far too complicated. So we just went with what we got. So.
Or just even the story, like having him, like even maybe having him like on a show like this where you're talking about his experience, you know, and what he took away from Kull, you know, what he felt from Kull and things like that. I think that would be phenomenal, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe on like one of the shows or something, because he's the only guy.
It's not a bad movie.
I've never seen it in the day, but I never.
Who wrote the remake of The Fly and a bunch of other stuff too.
It was a 90s movie.
Yeah,
I mean, but it doesn't have any fucking Snake Men. That's the problem. I think I think Snake Men.
Well, that original Conan film, the original
Adam. Yeah.
That was a mixture. That was a mixture of Kull and Conan.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a Kull
because it had Tulsa Doom.
Is not really Tulsa Doom. Tulsa Doom's a Kull villain.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So, they kind of mixed all that up, even though that was I love that film.
I did too. They were just look. They were just like, you know what? That's a cool name. Let's give. You know, Oliver Stone actually wrote the screenplay for that. I guess he was just like, you know, it's like, but like, what's a cooler name for your villain than Tulsa Doom?
Well, he's the most metal. You know, that's why they put. You know, I have a question actually. I mean, I wouldn't have even thought about this. I should have asked it. Bionk. Are we going to see any Tulsa Doom in the?
You can't because that's not public domain.
Oh, okay.
We have a female villain.
Nice. Okay.
So we have an archetype going
on
there.
Spoiler. So that's cool.
So,
very cool.
That's the fun of the
We're going in a slightly different route, and we're going to go with a female.
Genuine comic.
Genuine. Yeah, it's always funny explaining to people like where Skeletor comes from.
From Stone.
It's like that's Tulsa Doom, yo. He was supposed to be.
It is. Yeah. Yep. So we can't do that, but we can do other things, and we've obviously, you know, Randy is very au fait with the law, and
he's having fun now. We're having some fun.
He knows what he's doing, and he's writing some great stuff, and he's gonna pull out a villain that we hope will be just as entertaining. So
that sounds awesome. I can't wait to get this book and read it. And
yeah, me too.
Oh man! And then you're gonna be putting out multitudes of them a year. I can't believe that. Like, so for people that watch my you know, I do Conan reviews. Like, I review every Conan book that comes out now. So you guys, you gotta get in here and you gotta back this book. Again, it's gonna be a different version than the one that comes out after it. This is the antithesis. This is, you know, like I said earlier, this is the grassroots version of that book. So
yeah, not the one that you're gonna get in the bookstores. You know, you're not gonna get this at Amazon or Barnes and Noble.
If you're into Savage Sword of Conan, which a lot of people are, black and white artwork.
Yeah, you know, boy.
This is the book right here, man. And for me, like I'm Brian, like I would think that you would agree. Like
that's my shit.
Well, yeah,
I mean, and mind you, look, you know, I don't front. Like if when you get work from your fellow indie creators, you always hope it's going to be good, right? And you hope not to be disappointed. And you know, I always feel a little nervous opening the book. It's like, oh, I hope this person doesn't fall flat on their face. But some books are just straight up like triumphs. And yeah, like I said, I've read so many different versions of that story, and the one that you two guys did, the Shadow Kingdom, that's the best illustrated version I've seen yet. So I can't wait to see more.
We had a lot of compliments on that. We were very, very pleased with it. There were even, suggestions about some of the artwork looking like some of the older stuff, and we were really, really pleased. So
that's why I love it too, man. And I was telling dude, like his Russ is a pro, and I told him before, like I love your artwork in Shadow Kingdom. I think it's your best, and now I think what he's doing with the Atlantean is better than that. You know what I mean? Like it's phenomenal. I love it.
But that's, like I say, that's the way it should be. Every time you come back to the board or the typewriter, whatever it is, this next thing, that's your best. Constant
always.
Improvement.
And just your composition and everything.
Yeah,
it's just
that draftsmanship.
Yeah, it's just beautiful.
Makes me want to go draw. Like when I see this, it makes me want to like up my game. You know what I mean? Like when you draw horses,
those are the best things that you can hear.
Oh yeah.
I mean, when you're at a convention and somebody comes in and says, and I don't go to that many conventions, I come and go, I bought this book and I loved it. It made me think about writing a story, or made me think about drawing, and it's like that just means so much, because it means that it's not just that you're entertaining, it means that you are communicating.
Yes.
It means that you're directly communicating with readers, and that's so important. Yeah. That's what the medium's there for. So
I mean, that's what all art is for. Touching a soul, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. All art. That's what it's for. Yeah, to connect. Yeah. It's I don't have a proper job. I kind of had a proper job, but even that was in production. I don't dig ditches or work for the man or whatever. And I've got an easy life by comparison. I'm very, very fortunate, but I am serious about communication and about, storytellers are important people in the culture. Yeah. I'm not saying that to big myself up. What I'm saying is they're pivots. It's pivotal to have these stories to get these important things across to each other and to communicate with each other. So yeah, I don't do a hard job, but hopefully I do something worthwhile.
Absolutely,
is a worthwhile thing to do.
I mean, because I think about so much of the stories of the comics and the movies and just general stuff that I was into as a kid, how that saved my life.
Yeah.
I never would have made it out of my teenage years if it hadn't been for all the horror movies and comic books and just all of the cool stuff that spoke to me. And so when you grow up and then you want to be an artist yourself, you're hoping to have that same impact on somebody else.
Yeah, you hope you help. It's a way of giving back. And another reason why, and this is not to diss anyone who does anything digitally, because I drew a lot of digital work, and it is just as much art as any traditional work in my view, because it's the person that's putting the pen to the screen or the paper or whatever. But it's something that I did want to do was physically make something. Yeah. So I went back to traditional pages. And so I do everything. I pencil on digitally and get everything right. Then what I do is I've got to a point now with my inking where I print out a full sheet of pencils and I put it on a light box, and then I ink over the top. So I don't actually ink the penciled page. I print a page out and then ink over the top on a light box.
That's awesome.
But I love that making things, actually having something physical and solid.
Don't you wish you could print them too? Like I always wish that I could like pour the ink or work the machine.
Print it, work the presses.
I've been close to printing presses because I was in production when I was younger. And that's a job and a half. That's actually quite a hard, or used to be quite a hard job. Obviously, presses have changed so much. I was involved in litho and web, but now so much of it's digital. It's a whole different process. But just like seeing the ink being spread across the plates and then skimmed off, and it's cool.
The whole process. So cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like like one of the writers and artists that I've always admired is William Blake. Was a poet, but also an illustrator and a painter. He did these incredible watercolors and made like books, like actual like of certain books of his. There's like 8 copies that he made himself with copper reliefs and everything, and with the original little paintings. Like when you see his stuff at the museum, if you're ever fortunate enough to see his stuff, you're just shocked by how small it is.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, some of the skill that goes on in that, but it's this artisan approach to making things, and unfortunately, the modern world has kind of beaten a lot of that out of us. Especially when you have to come up with money for the bills and for food, and people don't have the time to do that. It's tough, but
life in the big city, right?
Yeah,
in a way.
Yeah,
right?
well, not for me anymore, but there you go.
Like the mindset, right? Like the big city is the internet now, right? Life in the big internet.
Busy.
Yeah,
busy's good.
Well, everyone watching, man, and everyone on the replay coming back this book again. It's at an insanely low price at $15. Very affordable in these times. I think you should go and check it out and back it. And again, I couldn't give it a higher review. Same thing with Brian, right?
Hell yeah!
I'm really like I love Shadow Kingdom, but when I was reading the book, I was like, damn, I wish this is a fucking ongoing, when you get to the back, like, what the fuck, the Atlantean? Oh shit. Like they're doing what I want. I want to, and I love the name, the Atlantean, you know what I mean?
Well, you
like,
want to see more.
It sounds so cool. It's just like, and this is where we're at, and it's happening, and again, they're doing a few a year, and it's going to be cool. And it's in a black and white, 50 pages, $15 plus shipping. Man, you can't beat that, and again, Russ, he's a stand-up guy. He always delivers his books. You can't go wrong. So that's what's up.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing like what happens in the Atlantean with the bromance between Kull and Brule, because it's hard to like imagine those characters like one with. It's hard to imagine Kull without Brule.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they're a double act. Yeah, and that's something we do in the first issue is kind of lean into that a little bit.
Yeah. Because it's just like when they first meet, they're just like suspicious of each other, and then after their first adventure, it's like they're already like practically brothers.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like Lethal Weapon and shit.
Yeah,
I like it, man. It's pretty cool. I can't wait for 5 either. By the way, they're doing
Lethal Weapon. Yeah,
they're doing part.
It's a barbarian Lethal Weapon. Yeah,
they're doing part 5. They're doing part 5, and he's directing it too. Mel Gibson's directing it because he promised.
Really?
He promised the screenwriter. He told him, the screenwriter's like, click. He's like, if I die, you better do this fucking movie. You will do this, right, Mel? He's like, well, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it, man. I'll do it. And he promised him he'd do it. So Mel's going to direct it, and they're going to be in it. It's going to be Danny Glover, him, and maybe Joe Pesci. But Joe Pesci doesn't really do anything anymore. He's retired.
Yeah.
But
surely, by now they're too old for this shit.
Yeah, that's a good line.
They were 40 years ago, right?
Man! Surely by now I'm too old for this shit. Like that's like
oh Christ!
Like they're gonna be in rockers, and I don't know. Yeah. Like for me, if I made it, I would have them retired, like in the like Bubba Hotep or something, or very Bubba Hotepian or Grumpy Old Minion. Like kind of like, dude, get back to Grandpa, go back to bed, go to nap. Like make it realistic, but they need weapons and shit, and they're shooting people. You know what I mean? Like he's not going to be fighting Gary Busey on the lawn, like doing.
No.
They're like running drugs. They're running drugs. Like a cartel is running drugs through the nursing home.
Yeah,
something. You know what I mean? Where or they're doing something like that. Where it's believable, but it could be kind of like that Tony Vega on the bus. You know about Tony Vega, right? That big old guy, the ex-Marine guy that beat up that dude on the bus, like they made a whole franchise out of it with Danny Trejo. Badass, So there's some badasses out there that can actually knock people out, like in their 70s, So like that's how I always have that in the back of my head. Like, damn, there's there is some old dudes out there that can knock said fools out. So maybe I could I could believe it a little bit, but it's just like I don't know, you know. But it'll be some popcorn.
The thing about fighting when you're older is you've got to finish it quicker.
Quick. It's all strikes.
Real quick.
It's gonna hurt.
Real quick.
It's gonna hurt the bones. You gotta have the magnesium.
Oh, Christ.
Oh, the bones in a big old gallon of milk. But loving these covers, man. I love the consistency in them. I love hearing like what's coming out with the new covers. You got stuff lined up. You guys have got big plans for this. This is a book that should be backed. This is like Fund My Comics. Like this is the book, man. You guys got to get on here. Come check it out. Back it. The link is at the top. If you guys haven't checked it out, go to the page. Check it out. You know, see what it's all about. You know, and yeah, man. I again, thanks for coming on, Russ. Sorry for the confusion.
There wasn't. I knew it would be. Don't worry. Yeah. It didn't confuse me. That was absolutely fine. I knew it would be this end.
And I'm like,
the only confusion
I didn't put
the only confusion I had over here was looking at the times, and Google said you were 4 hours, but it wasn't. It was 5 hours. But that's okay. You're on a daylight saving soon, aren't you?
Yeah, I've done it before. I did it to another guest too. It's just I've been really scatterbrained lately. I've only been sleeping like 4 hours the last year, but I did get like 7 or 8 last night. Ooh. And I woke up today and I felt like a different man.
Yeah,
like you're like like I'm not scared to pronounce this word. Like, you know what I mean?
Huge difference, dude.
Yeah, and like I could keep talking quicker and pronunciating the words faster and things like that. And normally I have brain fog and I'm like. Those sounded like and I'm just like, oh man, I need to get some sleep. You know what I mean? And it's like, am I getting stupider? I mean, I know I'm not that well read, but I mean, no, Matt, you need to sleep more. Okay.
No, you know when the neurons just aren't firing at optimal efficiency. You're groping for words.
Like, I don't want to sleep. Like I want to work on stuff. You know what I mean? Like I was talking to Russ in the stream. I feel like I'm cheating on my other self when I'm playing video games. Like, hey, what are you doing, Matt? You're playing God of War. Go get back to work. Go write something. Man. Go make a YouTube video. Man. You know what I mean? Go set up a show or plot out a show. You know what I mean? Like go do something. So it's like.
But you have to give yourself some fuck off time too.
Brian too. Then Brian comes swinging in. Dun, da, da, da. What are we talking about? You need to have that mindless fuck around time to completely decompress. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Sit out into the void and just have a barbecue, grill up some meat, drink a beer, and just stare into space. Right.
Right. Just get a video game that where you can just like blow shit up or chase people around with a butcher knife or. It's not like I'm not Dead by Daylight. It's just like sometimes I just need to like jump into Chucky's body and just start running around shanking people.
Oh man. What about a KULL TV show? Huh? HBO.
I would love to see
Conan.
I mean, you can have like wasn't there talk about it? Like Netflix was going to do, I think, a Conan and a Solomon Kane.
Yeah, then it went to like Prime, and then they're like
Amazon, and they're like
toxic masculinity.
Yeah, there's not a chance of it being made properly at the moment.
Right, which is I'm good. I'd rather have no Conan, Solomon Kane, KULL. I'd rather have no movies or TV shows than the Rings of Power or something like that.
I'm excited for the Red Sonja one, the one directed by the director of Solomon Kane, Michael Bissett. That looks it might be okay. I'll check it out because I love Solomon Kane. I love that movie.
I do too.
I put it up there.
I enjoyed that movie as well.
I put it up there with Conan, with Milius and Conan. I'll watch it, and there's some dodgy CGI, but there's some dodgy animation too. When Conan's on the beach,
watch value though.
But I'll watch them both.
Finder General in there. I mean, it's not Howard. I didn't want. No. It's not the Solomon Kane movie I wanted.
No,
but
it's Conan. It's KULL.
Awesome. Yeah.
But they're right. But they're very Howard, right? In spirit, right?
Exactly, because I think of like the original Conan the Barbarian, the John Milius film. Is it Robert E. Howard? Not at all, right? But does it have that spirit? Absolutely 100%. And it gets the world exactly right. Oh, the scene like the battle in the mounds, right? Come, I've never prayed to you before. right? Where he's just like basically like, you know what? I don't mind dying here just as long as I can take as many of those cocksuckers with me as possible.
Exactly.
And you see that in Howard's stories over and over and over and over and over again.
Just
where, like
God,
basically when the smoke clears, there's like bodies everywhere, and the hero's kind of standing there, just kind of surprised to like still be alive.
Still here, right? Man, and just
awesome.
that God, just the setup of that God. He's so Viking, you know what I mean? He's so Norse, you know, like you don't have to pray to him, or you do pray to him. You know, he's just this God of war, you know, and to a certain degree, you know.
Yeah.
And if not, fuck you on your mountain, you know. I don't know. I love it.
If do not listen, then they hallow you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the only fantasy sword I allowed into my sword collection. Is the Conan the Barbarian Atlantean.
They put it in the new one. It's in canon now in the new Titan stuff. Which is fun. Yeah, it's Tulsa's. Tulsa Doom Sword. Yeah.
Oh no shit. Yeah, because like I always thought it was Kull's sword. Right? Because it's an Atlantean tomb. The mound that he finds.
That was what everybody said. Yeah.
That was Kull.
Yeah. Well, I mean in Milius's canon, you know. But in the new, I guess the Zub canon, right?
Hey, look, he's doing a great job.
But it's like I had to find a way to put it in there, you know. And Cole has that because Conan goes back in time with, you know, and yeah. But anyways, yeah, it's crazy. But it's the time of Howard, man. It's the time, you know, and what you guys are doing over here with Arrow Comics and on Fun My Comic, Russ. Man, thank you, man.
Thank you.
You're showing some love. Titan did a little bit of Cole, you know. I don't think they're really focusing on that, but you guys are putting it out like no other, man. And I'm loving it.
Holding Cole down.
Holding Cole down. Holding down the block. Holding down the Thurian block. Valsuya block. And
Cole's cooler than Conan. Sorry. Yeah, I said it.
Yeah, man.
And, well, hopefully people will see that. And like I say, it's you know, people will be looking at me saying, well, there's a big claim, 3 a year, you know, you still going to be here. Yeah, watch this space.
Hell yeah, man. I'd love to hear that. It just makes me want to like, man, like I'm gonna be like Howard, you know, typing up some Conan stories, and he's got the axe. Like, what are you doing? I'm gonna be thinking about Russ looking over my shoulder, like, get to work. I'm putting out fucking Cole three times a year. I'm like, fuck, okay, all right, Russ.
Right.
All right.
Oh hell yeah!
You gonna come back on my show again next time? I hope so.
yeah, everywhere.
Hell yeah, man.
Oh yeah, man.
No, you're doing a great job. You know, I don't give out false compliments, but if I read a peer's work and I don't like it, I just don't say anything.
Yeah, don't say anything. That's right. Yeah.
I'm not
if you can't say something nice, don't say anything. That's what my mum used to say.
Right.
It's true. It is true. I agree.
Because I know they're trying.
It is true. Yeah, constructive criticism is always helpful.
Yes.
But if something is dire, then it's best just not to say anything about it.
Yes.
Nice
for sure.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on, man. Where could people find you at, Russ?
Thank you. You can find me at russleech.com. Sign up for my email list there, and I can keep everybody informed of when the next book's coming out, what's going on. I send one email out a month, unless I'm in crowdfunding mode, when you get a couple more. But other than that, it's just once a month, just to let people know where we're at and what we're doing. Awesome. So, sign up for the email list there at russleech.com. All my other social media connections are there as well.
I'm going to have to sign up for that. And maybe next time, if you want to come by, maybe in the chat, I'm always live, by the way, Russ, every Saturday night at midnight. That's kind of how I've been doing it. I mean, Eastern time. I'm in California, though, but yeah. And if you type in the chat, I'll make you a wrench. You know, I'm just trying to do that way people.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, all it is just I watch a lot of you guys on replay.
Oh, okay.
Because obviously it's now 10 to 7 in the morning here.
I know. Oh man.
Man. How are you even coherent? Right.
Sleeping or some breakfast. You know, that's why I was like, oh fuck. Like what I told him.
That's some Earl Grey. God
it.
That's the trouble with being in the UK or in Europe and being involved so heavily in US distribution is that you got to, do the night shift, especially on the crowdfunder. So just the way it is.
Brutal.
Well, everybody
Well,
go
you're
to
suffering for your art, but at least it's awesome.
Thank you.
It's not in vain.
And Brian, man, where can we find you at, brother?
Oh, you can find me on the Twitters at Brian Christgau, and you can find me on the Facebooks at Brian Christgau. I'm not hard to find. And you can also check out my comic, Six Gun Gorilla, The Great Silence, Volume 2, trade paperback coming out. You can find that on fundmycomic.com. There's exclusive stuff, like campaign exclusive stuff on there, like a cover by John Dillard. And, I believe in my book. Everybody who reads it has given me positive feedback. Everybody seems to love it. So you can download the entire first issue as a free PDF because I always believe in letting the customer kind of kick the tires and see if it's something that they want. Like if I'm at a convention, I always have like browser copies out for people just to pick up and flip through. So it's like the digital version of that.
The digital smack. Give them a little taste, right? Oh, I need more.
Yeah, man. The first one's always for free.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, man. Thanks, guys, for coming. Everybody that's watching, everybody that's been checking out my channel, I really appreciate it. All this people that's been subbing, it's freaking awesome. And thanks for coming on again, Russ. It's always a pleasure, man. Hanging out.
Thank you for having me on.
Fun.
Seriously, brother. Good talking to you.
And as always, everybody, always remember to be bold, be brave, and roll the bones to know your role. See you next time, and stay fucking metal. Peace.
Peace.